This is a sicha. This is a shir on Likutei Sichos, chapter book 20, Chelek Chof, the sicha of Toldos, the third sicha. When it comes to the bracha, the blessing that Yitzchak blessed Yaakov, so in this parsha we have the saga where Yitzchak wants to bless Esav. Yitzchak's wife Rivka understands that really Esav is pulling the wool over Yitzchak's eyes, and Yitzchak is not deserving of blessing, and she advises Yaakov on how to disguise himself in a way that his father gives him the blessings, thinking he's Esav. After that happens, and Esav comes and says, "Oi!" He comes to his father, and his father realizes what had happened, and his father now retroactively acquiesces and says, "Yes, the blessing should go to Yaakov." Now Yaakov tells, Rivka tells her husband Yitzchak that she wants Yaakov to get married, but not from the local choices for marriage, but he should go back to her family. So Yaakov goes to his father and gets his blessing before he goes to get married in Padan Aram. And so the blessing that Yitzchak gives Yaakov when he sends him to go to Padan Aram to go and find a wife. So the pasuk gives the description of this blessing that says as follows: V'yiten lecha, says Yitzchak, Hashem should give to you, addressing Yaakov. V'yiten lecha, he should give you at Birkat Avraham, the blessings of Avraham. What does that refer to? And Rashi quotes those words and says at Birkat Avraham, the blessing of Avraham, and explains on that Hashem has told Avraham, "Ve'escha legoy gadol." You remember that before Avraham left his land, when he told him, "Lech lecha mi'artzecha," leave your land, he told him, "I will make you a great nation." And he also said, "V'hitbarachu b'zaracha," that all people will consider themselves, will use your children as a benchmark of blessing. People, if they want to bless their children, they'll say, "You should be blessed like the children of Avraham." So these are the two blessings that Rashi identifies that Yitzchak is now blessing his son Yaakov, to say the blessings that my father Avraham was blessed should be fulfilled in you. Which blessings? The blessings that Hashem gave Avraham to, "I will make you a great nation," and your children will be the benchmark that others will bless their children with. Continues Rashi, "Yiyu otam berachot chulu," those blessings should be fulfilled in you. So we have to understand, remember, Rashi only comments in places where the pasuk would not be understood without his commentary. Let's just read the pasuk simply. The pasuk reads that May Hashem, Yitzchak says, "May Hashem give you, Yaakov, the blessings of Avraham," and the pasuk itself continues, "L'rishtacha teretz megorecha," to inherit the land in which you're living. You should get the blessing that Avraham got to inherit Canaan. So, two questions. First of all, why does Rashi have to explain anything? The pasuk explains clearly. Yitzchak says, "You should be blessed, Yaakov, with the blessings that Hashem blessed Avraham," which is to inherit the land, which didn't happen yet. Number two, even more so, not just why does Rashi have to explain, how does Rashi get the authority to say that what blessings are we talking about? We're talking about the blessings, different blessings than the pasuk says. The pasuk says that Yitzchak blessed him with the blessings of Avraham to inherit the land. Rashi comes and says there's two other blessings that are meant here. The blessings of "I will make you a great nation," and your children should be the benchmark of blessing that others bless their children with. Where does Rashi get that? Why does he take a pasuk? A, why does he comment? B, why does he comment and take it away from what the pasuk explicitly says? Number two question: even if for some reason Rashi has an imperative to tell him that the blessings that are included in the blessings that were given to Avraham, Yitzchak intends to incorporate other blessings as part of that, how does he know that it's these two blessings in particular that he chooses from the gamut? There's a plethora of blessings that Hashem gives Avraham. So if it means other blessings, maybe it means a whole bunch of other blessings which Hashem gave Avraham. Why does Rashi choose those two? "I will make you a great nation, and your children will be the benchmark of blessing." And especially that if Rashi is commenting that the blessing that Yitzchak is blessing Yaakov, that he should be blessed with the blessing of Avraham, means the increase of the great increase of his children, There are other descriptive blessings that characterize the blessing of multiplying the people in a far more descriptive way. For example, there's a bracha to Avram that Hashem says, "V'samti et zaracha ka'afar haaretz," I will make your children as multitudinous as the earth of the land. Or harba arba et zaracha kechochvi hashmayim, I will make your children so many like the stars in the sky. So, if again, the pasuk says simply that Yitzchak benched Yaakov with the blessings of Avram to inherit the land. Seems to be a very simple pasuk. Rashi comes in and says that Yitzchak meant the blessing that you will become a great nation and your children will be the benchmark of blessing. Says the Rabbi, A, why does Rashi have to comment anything? B, if he's commenting, how does he take it out of the literal meaning? C, if he's already saying that there's other blessings incorporated here, why does he choose these blessings? And if he's talking already about the blessings of having many, of multiple of the children being fruitful, why does he choose that blessing? I'll make you a great nation. Why doesn't he go with the more descriptive ones, to be like as multitudinous as the earth and as the stars? And it's difficult to say that. Well, he just said he doesn't want to specify earth and stars as being a benchmark for multiple, because he just said, "I'll make you a great nation." That includes everything. No, because. In other words, maybe just say Rashi brings the general blessing. I'll make you a great nation. Just doesn't go to all the details. No, we can't say that because Hashem himself specified the blessing of what does it mean to become a great nation, and said to be like the earth and to be like the stars, as many. So why doesn't Rashi see it? Wouldn't Rashi see the need to spell it out? But if Hashem adds the details to his blessing, it means that it's a detail that requires adding. It adds a dimension that is not just included instinctively in the blessing of becoming a great nation. So Rashi should also bring the unpacking or the added dimension of Hashem's brachas of being like the stars and the earth, if he wants to talk about the greatness of how the Jewish people will become multitudes in the fulfillment of the bracha to Avram. And also, we do have to remember, Rashi uses the generic that Hashem blessed Avram to become a goy gadol, a great nation. Yishmael, it says about him, he became also a great nation, goy gadol. So if Rashi is trying to say that Yaakov should have the fulfillment of the unique brachas that Hashem gave Avraham to the Jewish people, he really should specify those unique things that Hashem added to the bracha of the Jewish people, not just a great nation, which it says it about Yishmael also. It's that it actually happened, but it should say it about, he should be like the stars on the earth. So for this, and by the way, we just answered a question that we asked without asking. If Hashem already gave the blessing, become a great nation, why does he add the details of stars and earth? The reason he adds it is because just being a great nation is not something unique only to the children of Israel. Yishmael, as a child of Avram, is also given the blessing of being a great nation. So Hashem needs to add further dimensions to the brachas that he gives Yaakov and he gives the Jewish people, Avraham, about his Jewish offshoot, about his Jewish children, that they'll be as multitudinous as the stars on the earth. But now we come back to the question, if so, why doesn't Rashi bring that as part of the brachas that Yitzchak gave Yaakov? That the brachas of Avraham will come upon you. He should have said the full description, like the stars and like the earth. Number three, another greater question is, it would seem that if you read this pasuk seems to be talking specifically not about the two things that Rashi quotes, because these brachas that Rashi quotes, which is you should become a great nation and your children should be the benchmark of blessing, Yitzchak himself received those blessings from Hashem as well. So if Yitzchak is now saying, may Hashem bless you with the blessings that he blessed Avraham, that would seem to say, and not with the blessings he blessed me. I want to pass over to you. I want to wish you upon you the blessings that Hashem wished Avraham. But the blessings that Rashi quotes are actually blessings that Hashem also blessed Yitzchak. So why would Yitzchak say, I want to bless you with the blessings Hashem blessed Avram? He could say, I want to bless you with the blessings Hashem gave me, because Hashem gave him those blessings as well. When he says, I want to bless you with the blessings Hashem gave Avram, it seems to be that there's unique something, he's referring to something unique which Hashem gave Avram. Rashi doesn't quote those things. Rashi quotes the very things that Hashem also blessed Yitzchak with. So the whole Rashi is quite mysterious. Why does he have to comment? Why, when he comments about in specifying the blessing, does he choose these two blessings and in the way that he brings them to become a great nation and that your children will be a benchmark of blessing? It seems to be a mystical Rashi which we need to understand. Paragraph 2. With regarding to the fact that Rashi says that the blessing to Avraham is not the way the pasuk continues, which is simply the inheritance of the land. So there are mefarshim, there are commentaries that say, you know why? Because the inheritance of the land is not a blessing; it's a gift. Hashem has already said that He's given it to Avraham. A blessing is, I want this and this should be in the future fulfilled to you. Whereas when we're talking about the gift of Eretz Yisrael, it says already that Hashem already gave those gifts. It's in this pasuk itself. It says, "May Hashem." Yitzchak says, "May Hashem give you, Yaakov, the blessings that Hashem blessed Avraham to inherit the land where you're living, which Hashem gave to Avraham." So you see, the pasuk itself says that there's already been a gift. So you can't say that that is the blessing that Yitzchak is blessing. May Hashem give you the blessings of Avraham, the land which you're going to inherit, because the pasuk itself says, which Hashem gave to Avraham. A bracha, a blessing is on the future, something that still needs to be fulfilled. So we could say, there are commentaries that point out that that's why Rashi looks for an alternative blessing that Yitzchak is blessing Yaakov with, something that Avraham is blessed with that hasn't happened yet. The land, the gift of the land, which the pasuk continues to talk about, has been given already. Bracha is about the future. Says the Rebbe that still requires further explanation, because just like when we know that the blessing given to Avraham is, I will make you a great nation, we know that if we say that that was Yitzchak's blessing to Yaakov, meaning that this promise should be fulfilled in actuality by Yaakov, we can also learn that Hashem promised, I will make you a great nation. Did it happen? No. So Yitzchak is saying, may that blessing which Hashem already gave, may it be fulfilled in you in actuality. Perhaps we can say very simply that that land which Hashem said He has given to Avraham, which didn't happen yet, let it be fulfilled in actuality. When Hashem says it, it says, if it's done, but it wasn't actually done yet. May it be fulfilled. The bracha is, may it be fulfilled in actuality by Yaakov. So, still in all, you can't say that that giving of the land is not what Yitzchak meant. Rashi knows it's not what he meant, because it was already fait accompli. It was already given to Avraham. So was the blessing of becoming a great nation, but it didn't actually happen yet. Yes, in Hashem's eyes, the giving of the land already happened because He said it's going to happen. But in actuality, maybe Yitzchak is blessing Yaakov that these blessings should be actualized by him. And says the Rebbe, another thing, just in Rashi's way of telling us things, if the reason he's choosing two other things of blessing, not what the pasuk seems to say simply about inheriting the land, if the reason is because the pasuk says Asher Nasan Elokim LaAvram, which Hashem has given to Avram already, so it's not the bracha. Rashi should have hinted that the end of the pasuk is what compels him to say the commentary that he makes at the beginning of the pasuk, at least to say etc. Rashi would always give a hint at what's compelling him to introduce the pshat he's saying. That the Rebbe said in square brackets. So basically, again, we want to understand the pasuk seems to read straightforward. May Hashem, Yitzchak said, may Hashem bless you, Yaakov, with the blessings He gave Avraham. Blessings Hashem gave Avraham to inherit the land which Hashem gave Avraham. That seems to be a straightforward pasuk. Rashi introduces that no, he means to say this blessing that Hashem gave Avraham to make you a great nation, and V'yizbaruchu b'zaracha, that your children should be the benchmark of blessing. Where does Rashi get? What compels Rashi to say it? How is he able to say it? Why does he say it? So paragraph 3. It would seem we could say that with the pasuk saying Ve'escha, what Rashi means Ve'escha l'goy gadol, will make you a great nation, and your children, V'yizbaruchu b'zaracha, your children should be the benchmark of blessing. it doesn't mean only those two blessings. Could be it's just a sampling that actually includes all the blessings that Hashem has ever told Avraham. Because between the blessing of make you a great nation, which is the first blessing Hashem gave Avraham, and Vizbarach V'zaracha, your children should be blessed, which is one of the latter brachas, and everything in between. Maybe they're just the placeholders. However, says the Rebbe, it's very difficult to say that it doesn't. Rashi doesn't mean specifically those two. They're just placeholders, the beginning blessing, last blessing. Because first of all, Rashi should have at least said, etc. I'll make you a great nation, etc., and say the last blessing. You would know that it's everything in between. Also, the Rashi continues and says, those blessings, I'll make you a great blessing, and your children will be a benchmark for blessing. Rashi adds another line and says, may that great nation come out from you, and may that blessed offspring be from you. Which from this we see that Rashi, when he sums up and he says, those two things, I will make you a great nation, and your children should be the benchmark of blessing, Rashi culminates and says, may those two blessings be from you. May they come from you. That tells us that Rashi specifically means those two blessings. So we really have to understand, why are those two things, where does Rashi get it? That those two things are what Yitzchak incorporates in his blessing that he gives to Yaakov of what Hashem has blessed Avraham. So the mystery keeps mounting, as the Rebbe does in his Sichos. He builds up the questions. And then when he gives us an answer, everything, wow, we see the whole panorama, everything all of a sudden fits in. Dalit, paragraph 4. But we still haven't got to the answer yet. Continuation of Rashi is, may those brachas, those blessings that was said, that you should become a great nation and so on, bishvilcha, for you, that's an interesting language, those brachas that are said because of you, for you, from you shall come that nation and that blessed seed, those blessed children. So that's not understood. What is Rashi adding here by this lengthy, a little bit complicated language? I mean, it's obvious if he says, Rashi has said, that he explains what does Yitzchak mean when he says, may the blessings that Avram was given come upon you. He said, those blessings to make you a great nation and your children should be a benchmark of generation. Why does Rashi have to sum it up with saying, may those blessings be fulfilled by you? That's obvious. That's what the pasuk says. I mean, Rashi just has to explain which blessings, not to sum up at the end and saying, may those blessings that were given be through you. So in square brackets, the Rebbe says, really, we could say perhaps that what Rashi says, may those brachas that were said because of you be that not just, he's trying to say that those brachas are not just that those blessings should also come to Yaakov. But rather, Rashi is trying to tell us that those blessings that were given to Avram should be fully conferred onto Yaakov to the exclusion of anybody else. In other words, those blessings should be fulfilled and attached and exclusively to Yaakov. In a way, you see, it could be that the brachas are floating around. They were given to Avram, and Yitzchak is saying, may those brachas also go upon you. But they could also go to somebody else because they're not fully transferred in a way of sole proprietorship, so to speak. What Rashi is saying is, may those brachas be fulfilled only in you. That's what we could say Rashi is trying to emphasize here. However, the continuation of that seems to be, there's a double language here that seems to be saying something else, because the full double language is, may those brachas that are said, may they be for you. That would be enough to tell us, okay, may they be fully transferred to you. Then Rashi continues and doubles and says, from you should come out that nation and those blessed children. So there still seems to be something cryptic here, something that Rashi is telling us, adding at least one sentence is additional here, is redundant, seems to be. What is that telling? What is Rashi telling us? Also, we have to understand, since Rashi explains the words, Birchas Avram, the brachas of Avram, that what does it mean? It means the blessings, you should become a great nation, and your children should be the benchmark of blessing. Why does he also quote in his heading? He doesn't just say Birkas Avram, the blessing of Avram. He says Et Birkas Avram, the blessings of Avram. The word Et didn't have to be quoted from the pasuk in his heading. He's not explaining the word Et, it would seem. So that's already also suspicious. It's telling us something. So paragraph 5 has to bring together all the questions, give us a perspective on this bracha that will make all the questions fit into a mosaic that make perfect sense. Comes the Rebbe in paragraph 5 and says as following: the explanation to all this is what's bothering, what's the difficulty that Rashi is coming to address is as follows. When the Torah tells us about a bracha, a blessing that somebody has received, usually it says the reason why he's getting that blessing, or it's self-explanatory. For example, when we when we find by the previous bracha that Yitzchak gave, Yitzchak says, "I have become old. Make for me delicacies to eat, in order that I should bless you before I die." So there's a reason why the blessing has to take place now. He says, "I'm old, and I may pass, and I want to give the blessings." Similarly, the brachas that Hashem gave to Yitzchak when he told him, "Live in this land, don't go out of the land." We understand why is he blessing him and instructing him live in this land, because as Rashi says, Yitzchak thought maybe to go out to Egypt. So Hashem has to preempt it and say, live in this land. Similarly, the brachas after the Akedah, after Yitzchak was offered up as a sacrifice, it says that I'm giving you the blessings because you listen to my voice. In other words, there's a reason always for a blessing. Why is the blessing taking place? Somebody, you hear some bad news, you say, may you be blessed with good news. You hear somebody had a child, you say, oh, may you have nachas. Something's going on that preempts and is a reason for the bracha. Here the question is, this bracha that Yaakov is getting from Yitzchak, what is it about? Why is he giving these brachas to Yaakov right now? In other words, the bracha which Hashem says, V'kel shada, which the bracha which Yitzchak gives him, may Hashem, V'kel shada yivarech Hashem should bless you, v'yafrecha, make you multiply, v'yarbecha, make you increase, have many children, by Yisrael Kalam, you should be a congregation of a nation. We can understand that bracha because Yitzchak is benching Yaakov to go on a shidduch, right? He knows he's sending him off to make a match. What's a match about? What's getting married about? About having children. So he blesses him to have, you should be blessed with many children. Okay, we understand that. He tells him, "V'yafrecha, v'yarbecha." You should be fruitful and multiply. Great. That's pruvu. He gave him the blessing that you give when somebody gets married. We all know why you get married. But what's this connection that now he continues? The bracha continues, and may Hashem bless you with the brachas of Avraham to you and your children to inherit the land. If the blessing of Avraham means the inheritance of the land, that should be part of the bracha that Yitzchak already has given. Yitzchak, when he gave his brachas before he died, he thought it was going to Esau, but really it was to Yaakov. What did he say? V'yiten lecha Elokim, Hashem should give you mital hashamayim mishmani aretz, the fats of the land. Which land is he talking about? Eretz Yisrael. So he's already benched him with the land. Now that he's sending him up to do a shidduch, we understand why he's benching him to be fruitful and multiply. But why is he benching him about inheriting the land? What's that got to do with this trip that he's sending him off to make a shidduch to get married? Paragraph 6, that's why Rashi says that the bracha that Yitzchak is referring to, the bracha of Avraham, is also a bracha connected to the reason of his travel now, connected to the shidduch. You hear what the Rebbe is saying? The Rebbe sheds beautiful light on this pasuk. The blessing has to be in context. The context of the blessing here is the shidduch that Yitzchak is going upon, and Yitzchak that Yaakov is embarking upon. Yitzchak says, "May the blessing of Avram that pertains to children apply to you." Which blessing? Says Rashi, the blessing that Hashem blessed Avram to make you a great nation, that your children should be the benchmark of blessings. Those are blessings that have to do with the match, which is the purpose of the trip, which is the purpose of blessing him before the trip. He said, "Go there and take a wife, And all those blessings of Avram, the blessings that pertain to children, that the blessed children should come upon you. Ah, now that's incredibly pertinent. However, he doesn't paraphrase, Yitzchak doesn't paraphrase the blessings. He says, he incorporates it by saying, may the blessings that Hashem gave Abraham be upon you. Why does it say it this way? Because he wants to give him not just a bracha for a shidduch, that he should be fruitful and multiply, and not just stam, a bracha that was given to Avram. He wants the special bracha that was given regarding Avram in particular, es birkas Avram, the same circumstantial blessing that was given with all its power by Hashem to Avram. He wants it now to go to Yaakov. Not just the general bracha of having many children and blessed children. No, no, no. The blessing that was uniquely given to Avram. Why? What was uniquely given to Avram, continues the Rebbe. Yaakov needed to now travel. Kum leich paden Aram. Yaakov is now going in the footsteps of his grandfather, the illustrious Avram Avinu, and he's also coming up to go. We know what happens when you go. We know that Hashem had to bless Avram with being fruitful and multiply, because it says that lech lecha, when you go, traveling diminishes your fruitfulness, and traveling diminishes your reputation. So Hashem had blessed Avram that even though you're going to travel, you should have children, and your fame should spread, even though you're not staying in one place and building up your reputation. So that's why Yitzchak now says Hashem should bless you, Yaakov. Before you leave, you should get that same blessing of Avram, which was given to a situation like yours of travel. I'll make you a great nation, said Hashem. And Avram was given that blessing specially when he was about to travel, to go out and journey, which usually diminishes the fruitfulness of having children. So he says, Yitzchak is blessing Yaakov with that special blessing before Yaakov goes in that same activity like his grandfather Avram of Lech Lecha. And similarly, the bracha of your children should be the benchmark of blessing. Hashem, Yitzchak is blessing Yaakov that the going in the path should not create any diminishment of the fame of his children, and therefore people should bless, his children should be famous for their greatness, and people should bless their children by using Yaakov's children as a benchmark. However, the brachas that are relevant to Yitzchak, to Yaakov himself, that his name should not be diminished, and that his money should not be diminished, that already is included in the bracha that Yitzchak gave Yaakov earlier. He gave him a personal blessing when he gave him the blessing that was intended for Esav, and he gave it to Yaakov. He gave him a personal blessing, and that personal blessing would take care of his own journey, not diminishing his fame, not diminishing his money. But now Yitzchak is saying, I'm sending you on a shidduch. Now we need to think about the future. Now I want to give you a bracha that blessing which Avram was given to negate the possibility of travel, hindering your fruitfulness and hindering your fame, same way Hashem preempted the diminishment by giving Avram the blessing. I'm giving you that same blessing. That's why Rashi quotes those blessings, because the specific blessings that have to do with the travel that Hashem gave Avram, Yitzchak is conferring onto Yaakov. Paragraph 7, however, there's a question. What was Yitzchak's intention by benching Yaakov with these special blessings of the bracha of Avram? I mean, the brachas don't seem to have been fulfilled by Avram. He gave him those same blessings. He says the blessings Hashem blessed Avram should be fulfilled by you. They didn't seem to work. By Avram, they didn't work. So really, you could say, yes, look, Hashem gave the blessings. It's not God forbid it wasn't fulfilled. Hashem's intention was that this should unfold in the upcoming generations. However, if we're now honing in on the fact that Hashem gave Avram these blessings because of his unique circumstance of travel, that the travel should not diminish his fruitfulness and fame, that means that they should be fulfilled also in Avram. But we don't seem to see it. Avram just had one son from Sarah, Yitzchak. That's hardly a fulfillment of the blessing to be very fruitful. He had Yishmael, that's true, but the children that's called his child, Hashem tells him, "Be Yitzchak Yichar el Chazar." Your special offspring is Yitzchak, not the not Yishmael, and not the children that are born afterwards to Keturah. So how can we say that with the fulfillment of the one child who's born, Yitzchak, there's a fulfillment of that special blessing that Abraham received to be fruitful? It seems like the travel did diminish fruitfulness. It wasn't fulfilled, the blessing. Similarly, the blessing that your children should be the benchmark of blessing, we don't find that this was fulfilled by Abraham himself. On the contrary, only Yitzchak is um, before Yitzchak is born, Yishmael is Avram's child, and people do not like him. It says that he's going to be a wild person. He'll have his hands in everybody, and everybody will have his hands on him. In other words, everybody will hate him and try to fight with him because they don't like his dominion. That's not a benchmark of blessing that Abraham is blessed by Hashem, that his children should be the way people bless. We want our children to be like yours. It doesn't seem to be fulfilled. That's why Rashi continues that those brachas of Avraham. Rashi says like this, he qualifies that. Those brachas that are said on for you. In other words, these brachas that Hashem gave Abraham, it should be revealed that really they were said in order in the initial saying to Abraham, it should be fulfilled that they were said to be conferred and to be fulfilled by you, Yaakov. By you, there will be the actualization of that blessing that Hashem gave Abraham, and it was that way. Who was fruitful and multiplied? Yaakov. He had 12 sons, one daughter, and we know that there's even a tradition in the Medrash that every tribe also had a twin daughter that we don't talk about, but a twin sister born with him. And Binyamin had two twin sisters. So you're talking about one man being fruitful and multiplying, having more than 25. You're talking here, right? If it's 12 boys and each one has a twin, that's 24. Yitzchak has two twin sisters, that's 25 plus Dinah. So you're talking about 26. You're talking about a large family. So Rashi is saying that Yitzchak is conferring upon Yaakov and saying, may it be revealed that the blessings of Abraham were actually intended to be fulfilled in you, through you. Yeah. And you see that what Hashem said, that the travel shouldn't diminish that. May those blessings be conferred upon you before you embark now on your lech lecha, on your travel. And Avram's blessings, really, Hashem intended all the way that it wasn't going to be right away, but it's going to be. And in that same circumstance, Hashem had to give the blessing that travel shouldn't diminish it, because you too, Yaakov, are traveling. So now we understand why Rashi is bringing those blessings, because that's what Yitzchak is trying to convey specifically to Yaakov now. The blessing of being fruitful and multiply and having fame and so on, like Avram was blessed, but the actualization of that is to be fulfilled in Yaakov. Paragraph 8, we could say, furthermore, that with this, Rashi is also answering another question that we didn't even talk about, which is, how can it be that Yitzchak sends Yaakov to find himself a wife, but Yitzchak is not acting in the same way his father acted when he had to look for a wife for himself, for Yitzchak? What did Yitzchak do? Yitzchak sent an agent. He sent a shliach. He sent Eliezer. He didn't tell Yitzchak, go and find a wife from my former land, from the family. So why doesn't Yitzchak do the same thing for Yaakov? Why does he send him off to find a wife? Why doesn't he send an agent to find a wife and bring back a wife? Now, you would say, well, really, this is a cover-up. Yaakov has to run away because Esav hates him. Esav is coming to attack him. No, but Yitzchak didn't know that. Remember, Yitzchak still doesn't know that there's enmity here and that Esav wants to kill Yaakov. Rivka came with a simple request to her husband when she knew that she has to get Yaakov off the scene. It's dangerous. She told Yitzchak, let's send him away to find a match. She didn't tell him that there's a death threat against Yaakov by Esav. So why does Yitzchak acquiesce? Why doesn't he say, one second, my father for me sent a shadchan, sent an agent to go find a girl, bring her back. Why doesn't he do the same way? What the 5-year-old would have that question. Now you can't say that, well, Yitzchak couldn't go. Avram had to send an agent because Yitzchak, after the Akedah, was like a Oila Tamimim, was like a special sacrifice. You can't go out of Israel. You can't say that's the reason why Abraham sent somebody and didn't send Yitzchak, because later on, Only later on does Hashem say, don't go down to Egypt. You have to stay there to stall. According to the simple reading of the pasuk, they didn't know that before, and yet Avram sent somebody to bring back a wife. So why doesn't Yitzchak mimic his father and also send somebody to get a wife? So now we know the answer. We didn't even answer the question, but now we're asking the question: what's the answer? Says the Rebbe, we now have the same answer we gave before, explaining the narrative. This is the nugget of the answer here. The fact that Yitzchak sends Yaakov to Padana Aram, to the place of where he has to go find a wife, is because Hashem, Yitzchak sees in this the fulfillment that Hashem said to Abraham, you will be a great nation and your children will be the benchmark of blessing. When did Hashem give this blessing to Abraham? There was a stipulation in that blessing that this blessing is coming because of your efforts of lech lecha, of leaving your place. In other words, in our case, Yaakov's going, there's an angle of us that falls back to what we know, that he had to run away, and we're thinking, oh, well, obviously he has to go find a shidduch. We can't bring a girl here, he has to get away. But one second, no. In Yitzchak's mind, Yitzchak doesn't know he has to run away. Why is Yitzchak sending him away? So here the Rebbe tells us, because really the blessing, he wants to invoke the blessing of Avraham onto Yaakov. Blessings don't just come as a free lunch. You can't just say, I want the blessings of Avraham to go onto Yaakov without Yaakov doing the same thing Avraham did. There was an effort put forth by Avraham that evoked and that created the vessel for that blessing. You know what that work was? The lech lecha, he had to go out. Hashem said, you're going out. Usually going out brings with it a diminishment of children. I'm going to bless you nonetheless. I'm going to preempt that diminishment. You're going to have children. Usually it creates a lack of stability in one place. Therefore, your fame doesn't spread. I'm going to preempt that. I'm going to give you a bracha that your children will be the benchmark of all blessing. You'll be famous. But Yitzchak understands that nothing comes without avodah. Nothing comes without the accompanying service and sacrifice and effort that is required. What's the effort here? Yitzchak says, I'm going to give you those blessings of Avraham, but you have to be following the path of Avraham and go, lech lecha, go out of your own environment and go to kum leich paden aram. That word leich, which till now is just a word that didn't jump out at us. Now that Rabbi highlights it, it's like the same word as leich lecha, the same word that Avraham does. Go and follow in the footsteps of the Avodah of your forefather Avraham and go to the house of Besuel and take a wife from there. And in the merit of that effort and that going and that leaving your comfort zone, you're going to get the bracha of becoming a great nation like Avraham was given. That becomes unbelievable what the Rebbe does for us here. Paragraph 9. However, we have the question, one second. There's a blessing to Yishmael, which seems to be the same blessing. It says about Yishmael, Hashem tells Avraham, don't worry, Yishmael will also be blessed. Yitzchak is going to be your main child, but you're worried about Yishmael is your offspring. You're concerned about him. Don't worry, I've blessed him, and I've made him multiply and be fruitful very, very much. 12 Nesiim. Ishmael had 12 chief of tribes, 12 heads of tribes, and I've made him a great nation. One second. So Yishmael is also being blessed to become a great nation. What's the advantage here that Yaakov gets in the blessing that Yitzchak's giving, that may Avram's blessing come upon you? And it's even more difficult to understand that in the prophecy of Hashem, Esav is compared to Yaakov when Rivka is distressed that she seems to have a confusion in her womb, a child who's mixed up and is going to idolatry when she walks by a house of idolatry, and she's going to Hashem when he walks by a house of study of Torah. And Shem, Hashem tells her through the prophet Shem, you got two different nations in you. They're both called nations. Esav is also one of them. How is Esav considered a nation just like Yaakov? Where's the blessing that Avram's seed through Yitzchak should be, and Yaakov should be the blessed nation? That's why Rashi says, this blessing that Hashem gave Avraham, Mimcha Yetzu Oisei Hagoy. That nation that Hashem is promising Avraham, that special nation should come from you. That children, those children, the blessed ones that Hashem is blessing Avraham with, should be only through you. The bracha of Yishmael and what it says about Esav that he's also a nation, may those children not have any connection to the special Abrahamic blessing that Hashem gave Avram, may that blessing be conferred exclusively through you. Yes, there are other, they were also fruitful and they're also considered nations. But may that special blessing that Avraham got about his nation, may that be exclusively fulfilled through you. Verse 10, paragraph 10, according now, let us understand the continuation of the pasuk. Since Yaakov is going away from Eretz Yisrael and he's going to build his own house outside Israel, and on the contrary, the way he gets the blessing of Avram to become a great nation is because he mimics Avram and he leaves. One second, he leaves Israel. Who stays in Israel? Esav. That's a bit of a problem. You may think, one second, Esav is now going to become the claim ownership of Israel. So that's why in the pasuk itself, Yitzchak continues, you should be blessed with the bracha of Avraham, which includes, put in paragraphs what Rashi says, it includes that you're going to go out of Israel, you're going to build a family, and the blessings of Avraham will be fulfilled by you. But, close brackets, you still will be the one that is inheriting the land of Avraham that was given to him. Because those blessings that Hashem said to Avraham, I'll make you a great nation, those blessings are exclusively yours. Yes, Avraham had other offspring and other great nations, but that's not that blessing. That blessing, which comes together with the land, is exclusively yours. So don't worry. You're going to leave Eretz Yisrael. Right now, that's what you have to do, build the thing. But the land, the blessings of the land are yours. Paragraph 11, another thing in the bracha of Yitzchak, is as Rashi says, those blessings that were said should be for you. From you should come out that nation and those blessed children. The lashon of the bracha is, I will make your children like the dirt of the land, or like the stars of the sky, or like the sand at the tip of the sea. So those bring out the incredible amount of children that will come out from Yaakov. But we don't see here that those children will all be an extension and bound up and a reflection of Yaakov and his values. So that's why Rashi chooses, that's why Rashi chooses to say the bracha of Yitzchak is something more unique. In other words, somebody could have children, but the children could just be they could just be a technical extension of his family. They're all of his clan. They're all bear the surname Yaakov, perhaps. But are they really replicas? Are they really children that continue and carry on and bear the signature and bear the same values and the same dedication to Hashem as Yaakov? So that's why Yitzchak invokes the deepest blessing, not just to be like the stars, not just the technical multiplication of Yaakov's grandchildren and great-grandchildren. He invokes the blessing that Hashem gave Avram, ve'esche, I will make you a great nation, which means all the great and multitudinous children that come out of you, they will be a reflection of you. It'll be clear that it's you, Yaakov, that's becoming spread forth and multiplied in an abundance of children that are little Yaakovs, that are manifestations of Yaakovs in their behavior and in their commitment and so on. And it will be that this blessing that Hashem gave Avraham, that your children will be the benchmark of blessing for all the nations of the world. Zaracha, your children, the fact that they are children of Yaakov, the fact that they bear the signet ring, the fact that they bear the pedigree and behavior of Yaakov, that they're the children, your children of Avram, that aspect that you see upon them, they're Avram and Yaakov's children, they're Avram, Yitzchak, Yaakov's children, that will be the benchmark of blessing that everybody will use. Not just technically. You could technically be a lot of kids, but if they're not a reflection of who you are, that's not ve'eschel le'gagadu. We have to be a reflection of who Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov are. Then we're a true tribute to our father. Then we become the fulfillment of the blessing to Avram and to Yitzchak and Yaakov that I will make you a great nation. What we have to see in his offspring is the Avram, Yitzchak, Yaakov in them. And that was the bracha that Yitzchak gave to Yaakov. May Hashem give you the bracha of Avram, which that bracha is a special bracha. I will make you, Avram, into a great nation. Your children will be the benchmark of blessing. In other words, those brachas that were given should come out of you, and you should be that blessed nation. That the Yaakov, all these blessings of who is the brand of Abraham, and Avram's greatness should only be the only sole distributor, so to speak, should be Yaakov, because all the Bnei Yisrael will be called on your name, children of Abraham, but with the specific branding of Yisrael, and we're all called Bnei Yisrael, the children of Israel, going back on Yaakov, because and everybody, the benchmark of blessing is everybody wants to be like the Bnei Yisrael, like the Israelites, like the children of Yisrael, and that's the fulfillment of Yitzchak blessed Yaakov, that Hashem's blessing to Abraham, that your children should be great, should be through your strand of the family, through your brand of the family, the Yisrael brand of the family, and that was indeed fulfilled. So here we have the blessing becomes so much more alive, so much more beautiful in the way that Rebbe explains it to us.